Good morning, Peninsula Grace family. Today's reading plan devotional can be found in Psalm 131. And Psalm 131 is one of the 14 Psalms of Ascent. These were the songs that the people of Israel would sing as they walked up the Temple Mount, the mountain in Jerusalem, as they headed toward the temple. So they were songs sung while ascending, or songs of ascent. And for a helpful meditation on these, I would really recommend the book A Long Obedience in the Same Direction, Discipleship in an Instant Society. It's by Eugene Peterson. It's really helpful. I've been reading through it recently and super encouraged by it. I'll post a link to it below this video. And in our song for today, Psalm 131, we find David leading the people of God to talk to Yahweh. And the first thing he says in verse 1 is he calls them to renounce prideful ambition. He says, "My heart is not lifted up, nor are my eyes raised." You could render that, "My attitude is not arrogant or prideful." And then he says something that's a bit more confusing to us. He says, "I don't occupy myself with things too lofty or too great for me." And that sounds odd because all our lives we've been told to reach for the stars, to dream big. But here, David tells us that that kind of thinking can be ruinous. And I think Charles Haddon Spurgeon, who's a preacher in the 1800s, he said it this way. He said, "Many through wishing to be great have failed to be good. They were not content to adorn the lowly stations which the Lord had appointed them. And so they rushed at grandeur and power and found destruction where they had looked for honor." In contrast to this arrogance, we are to put the mind and posture of a young child just weaned from its mother. That's what we see in verse 2. And I can't help but see a connection here to Matthew 11:27, our reading from Monday. "For God in his good pleasure has chosen to hide the mystery of the gospel from the proud, but revealed them to infants," little children. This is the paradox of the biblical gospel. It is the helpless, the vulnerable, those who reject the myth of autonomy, those who deny the delusion of independence. It's those who are invited to enjoy the benefits of Yahweh. And in verse 3, David invites the congregation. He invites us, instructs us to put our hope in the Lord. So where is your hope as we close? Maybe a better way to put that question is this: what would it take to make you happy? Really consider your answer to that question, right? And I don't just mean the right answer. I mean, what's your gut level instinctive response to it? What would it take to make you happy? Would it take better circumstances? Would it take hard work on your part? Would it take more charm or striving to try to accomplish your ambitions and to carry out your dreams? Would it take a little more cushion in the bank account? Or well-behaved, happy, successful kids? What would it take to make you happy? If it takes an earthly thing to make you happy, then your eyes are raised too high. That's what David says. You've occupied yourself with things too lofty for you. Instead, run to the loftiest thing of all. Like a toddler running to his mother, hope in God himself. Have a great Wednesday, guys. We'll see you next time.